Hello everyone and welcome back. So in today's video we are going to focus on a very important topic which is not only important from your interview standpoint but also for your daily jobs or your daily projects that you're doing. So this will help you avoid some simple mistakes which will help you improve your application performance as well. So today's topic is basically related to string and string builder. So first of all, we'll see what exactly is the difference and when exactly you should go with a string and when exactly you should go with string builder. We also have something called a string buffer, which I will just explain in very brief, but will not be going in too deep about that because string buffer is obviously when you are dealing with multi-threading, then only you have to go with string buffer. So first of all, let's start with the string, like when exactly you need to use string and when not to use strings. Okay, and we'll also be seeing the coding examples of how exactly these things are happening. Okay, so strings are obviously, as you already know from your basic training days itself, that string in Java are immutable. Okay, that means whenever we create a string object and whenever we try to modify that string object, it will create a new object. It will not modify that object itself, but it will create a new object. And generally when we do a string modification or concatenation, we use a plus operator that we already know. So let's just quickly see that how it is creating a new object and not modifying it. So for that I am taking a string object here. I will just name it as str. Okay, and I am giving some example here as hello world. All right, so we have taken a string and I have just named it as hello world. The value here is hello world and the variable name is str. Okay, now what I'm doing here is I am doing a modification in this. I'll just do str plus uh, hello world, how are you? Okay, so after this what we'll do is we'll try to print this particular string and this particular string. Obviously this variable name is same, so if I'll print str, it will print hello world, how are you. Let me just show you that as well. So sorry. Okay, so here we are printing str. All right, so let's just run and check how exactly it is printing. So if you see here, it is printing hello world, how are you? Okay, but we need to check if this particular string, when we modified it here, if it is same object or it is creating a new object. So for that what we can do here is we can just print the hash code value of this particular str variable and we'll know that if it is the same object or it is a different object. So I will just print str dot hash code, okay, for this thing. And as well here as well, what I will do here is I will just print this value itself here as well. Okay, so now let me save it and just run it. Okay, so if you see here, we have two different hash code values. That means that this particular object that is created here is different from this particular object. Value obviously, because it is creating a new object itself, it is, you are able to see this value, but it is creating a new object rather than modifying it. So if you're dealing with suppose if you are running a for loop having 100 or 1000 times, it will create that particular object 100 or 1000 times. So you can see how much memory space it will take, and it will reduce your application performance. So that's one particular thing. Then to like handle these particular scenarios, we have something called a string builder, and we know that a string builder is mutable. So if we are creating a, or if you are modifying that particular string in case of a string builder, so it will not create a new object, but it will just modify the same object with the new value. So that is efficient when we are dealing with frequent string manipulations. And also if we talk about the storage space, strings are generally stored in string pool, which is a special space in our heap memory. But in case of a string builder, it is not stored in string pool, but it is getting stored directly in the heap memory. So I have just created a simple example here of the memory space here, like how many memory space are there. You can take a screenshot of this and you can also search about this more in detail. Like we have stack, which is generally used to store local variables and the method invocation address and all. Then we have something called as heap memory, so it's mainly for the object storage, and there are much details that you can go ahead in deep. The young generation, old generation, what all these things are, you can just search it and you can know about it. And inside heap itself we have something called as the string pool, which generally is used to create the strings which we are creating using string, not the string builder. Okay, and the diagram is something like this. So inside heap we have string pool. So whenever you're creating a string using a string, so that particular string memory is being assigned here. So this is about the memory space. Now we'll take a look at the string builder example. Okay, and we'll also see that how the memory like allocation is happening in this case, and how it is not creating a new object and it is just modifying the existing one. Okay, so instead of this, what we are going to do here is we will just take an example of string builder. Okay, so obviously we'll have to create a new object for that. So we have taken a string builder here. Okay, and we'll take the same example. So we have string builder, and let me just create okay, so we already have the value of the string hello world. We just printed the hash code value of this. Now as this is, we don't have concatenation with plus in string builder, we'll have to use the append method here. Okay, all right, so I am doing append here. Now we'll just run this and we'll check this if the hash code value of both these things are same or not. We have seen that in case of a string it is different because it was creating a new object itself rather than modifying it. So we'll just run it and we'll see how these things are working. So if you see here, we are getting a same hash code value. That means the memory that it is creating is same. We don't have the different memory space assigned, it is modifying the same object. So if we are dealing with frequent string modification, obviously we can go ahead with a string builder. So at the end we have string buffer, which we are not going too deep in that, but you can just know that string builder are also mutable just like string builder. And the main difference between string builder and buffer is string builder is not thread safe. Not thread safe means it is not synchronized. So if you're dealing with multi-threading, we generally suggest that you should go ahead with string buffer, because you'll get a desired synchronized results. But that also depends, like what kind of, if you want to have performance improvements or if you need synchronization in your application or not. So those things are completely different, and your depends on your personal like what requirement you have in your application. And because it is synchronized, obviously it is slower than the string builder. So if you want to have a separate video on string buffer, we'll create a separate video, but for now, like this is all about the string builder, string and string buffer. If you are going in interviews, obviously you can give this examples as well, how you can identify that whether these strings are getting created whenever you're modifying it is creating a new object. So all these examples you can give, and it will create a very good impression. So that is all for today, and hope you like the video, and make sure you subscribe to this channel for more. And thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.